KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now with Mark Hanrahan and Jeremy Legoo.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. First up tonight, the topic of transgender student athletes took center stage at the Central Valley School District Board of Directors meeting tonight. The subject, whether to send a letter to the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association for more clear guidelines on transgender athletes competing in sports. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy has more on what happened.
A packed meeting space at the Central Valley School District Board meeting, with many there with the same subject on their minds. A drafted letter by the district critiquing the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association on looking into their policy regarding transgender athletes. The letter emphasizes needing more conversations around the topic, wanting to address the issue in a fair way, and offering multiple alternatives like creating an open category of sport not defined by one's gender.
Boys competing in girls' sports creates many problems.
One of many public commenters saying transgender students should not compete in the sport associated with the gender they identify as, arguing the letter language needs to address the issue in a clear way.
CVSD must take a clearer, stronger stance to protect girls' sports.
Many parents and community members spoke at tonight's meeting. One notable presence at Tuesday's meeting, Spokane City Councilman Jonathan Bingle, arguing the language used while discussing the matter shouldn't be put into practice.
Just by saying biological male and female, it accepts the premise that there's anything other than male and female. And there just isn't anything other than male and female.
After public comment, board members spoke their views on the letter, all agreeing the language would have to change if sending to WIAA. Board member Cindy McMullen argues the issue is complex and can lead to unfairness from the perspective of students identifying as transgender.
What about the transgender athlete who wants to participate and can't participate in any other part of sports and be true to their gender identification?
After discussing and voting on sending the letter, the board voted unanimously against sending that draft. In Liberty Lake, Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
New tonight, we are learning new details about a Seattle woman accused of murdering her elderly father with an ice axe. According to police, 33-year-old Corey Burke is charged with killing her father. According to court documents, she told investigators that she couldn't convince him to keep the lights off, so she went and grabbed an ice axe.
I only saw all the cops, that's it. Block off the road, and so we came around this way. That's crazy that it happened so close.
Burke is facing first-degree murder charges. He's being held at the King County Jail on $2 million bond tonight. Turning to a somber milestone, as tomorrow marks 2 years since 4 University of Idaho students were brutally murdered in their off-campus home. Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez were found stabbed to death after a night out. The murder shocked the Moscow community as well as the nation. Since the tragedy that day, the University of Idaho is making sure students will not be forgotten. The Vandal Healing Garden and Memorial was created by and for vandals, along with the entire Moscow community, as a place to grieve and remember. It's now open to the public. You can watch us tomorrow as we continue to honor the lives of the victims. New tonight, the Orca Conservancy announced a southern resident orca, Lobo, is missing, and now there's concern about the overall population of the southern residents. Lobo, a 31-year-old southern resident whale, hasn't been seen since July, and officials are fearing that he might be dead. We have seen 4 other orca deaths throughout the past year, 2 adult male orcas and 2 newborn calves. The entire southern resident population is down to just 72, the lowest count since 2020. All right, switching gears, let's take a quick peek at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Jeremy, it was a nice November day. It was dry, even got some sunshine, but that's all coming to an end.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, because tomorrow, a much different story. Right now we sit at 40 degrees, but cloud cover is starting to build in, winds still out of the south, and the rain is knocking at the door. It's already over on the west side and slowly moving into the central portion of the state. A lot of what you see there, not making it to the ground just yet. Maybe a couple of light raindrops winds up being it. For us, rain starts tomorrow morning, and it starts early. It's coming down when you wake up, and it just stays rainy all day long. I think our heaviest rain is going to be right in the middle of the day. It's just a good, solid soaker, and we're talking enough rain that you're likely going to see some ponding in roadways, maybe some of those poor drainage areas dealing with some of it, maybe even some rising rivers, creeks, and streams. It moves out Thursday. We're heading into a drier day, but it does look like it comes with a few scattered showers to start. 45 degrees tomorrow with all that rain, 49 on Thursday, 45 on Friday. Coming up in the full forecast, we're going to break down where that snow is and how much you're getting.
Sounds good, Jeremy. We'll talk to you then. Thank you very much. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Right now, Moscow police are investigating a possible sexual assault near the U of I campus. The victim says it happened at around 6 p.m. yesterday as she was walking home to her dorm near Gormley Park. When a car pulled up next to her, she says a man got out of her car, forced her into the car. And that's when she says the man assaulted her and then let her go before leaving the scene. Spokane police say a deadly stabbing from over the weekend was all over a relationship. Anthony Chastain is charged with second-degree murder of Javier Chavez. It happened outside the old Hope House downtown. Prosecutors and police say it happened during a fight over a girlfriend. Chastain stayed at the scene after police say he stabbed Chavez in the chest and told officers he was protecting himself after two men attacked him. Prosecutors and police say that's not what the evidence showed.
This sounds like this is an ongoing beef between Mr. Chastain and Mr. Chavez, the victim, in this matter over a female, and that Mr. Chastain got in his vehicle, armed himself with a knife.
Chastain is charged with second-degree murder. He is being held on $500,000 bond tonight. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office is working to determine how an inmate died at the county jail on Friday. We are told the inmate had just returned from court, a hearing at around 2 p.m., and by 4 o'clock he was found unresponsive on the floor of his cell. Officials say the 36-year-old man had no obvious signs of trauma, so they are waiting for the medical examiner to determine an exact cause of death. As of tonight, that man has not yet been identified. And that was your night beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. In Idaho, a group of women challenging the state's near total abortion ban testified in court today. The women in this case all went out of state to get an abortion after being denied care in Idaho. They claim abortions in Idaho are only legal in cases of rape, incest, and to prevent the death of the mother. Attorneys in the case say the new law is a form of, quote, government overreach.
The lives and health of pregnant people are worthy of protection, and that is the bare minimum of what is required under the law.
A state attorney says the laws do protect moms and babies, and he says they aren't vague and the case is based on hypothetical medical situations. He also called abortion procedures, quote, gruesome and barbaric.
It doesn't matter how the plaintiffs try to articulate that right. It doesn't matter whether you call it abortion care, health care, or whatever other euphemism they want to use to hide the fact that every abortion ends in the death of an unborn child.
Plaintiffs are not asking the court to allow abortion in all circumstances, just in certain high-risk pregnancies, they say. Exciting news for North Idahoans. The new Trader Joe's location is now open in Coeur d'Alene. The location is the first of its kind in the Idaho Panhandle. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.